I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the studio by Miceal O'Hurley. Miceal, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
Miceal, you run a business in town. Let's talk about the business first of all. Tell me a bit about Fantastic Flavours.
Well, Fantastic Flavours Ice Cream Parlour kind of grew out of a almost 30-year experience I've had making ice cream for friends and family. And Youghal is a lovely community. It's where I've selected to spend my hopefully final years in life, and long may they last. But I thought, every seaside town needs an ice cream parlor. And one of the interesting things that happened after the Second World War, or the emergency here in Ireland, is the Yanks brought over 99 machines everywhere to make kids happy. And because of that, the artisan handmade ice cream tradition died. So there's a handful of us here in Ireland that are trying to revive it. And, fortunately, I decided to start my shop here. And I've gotten great support from the community and great accolades and great support from tourists, too.
Now, most people growing up in Youghal or growing up in any stretch of this, part of the coast would be well aware of the 99 machines. What would be the difference between the 99 machine and what you're doing, Michael?
Listen, I love 99s. My daughters love 99s. But 99s are basically whipped ice cream. It's very little dairy. A lot of times it's a substitute. It's what we call non-gelatinated fat. If you go to McDonald's and look at their menu, that's what it says, non-gelatinated fat. It doesn't sound too interesting. But it's generally a plain flavor like vanilla or chocolate, and usually artificial flavors. Artisan ice cream is specifically that. It's an art. It takes years to learn how to distill essences from different products, how to use different ingredients in the ice cream to get the flavor and the texture you want. We use local dairy. I can trace it all down to the very cow. We use Youghal honey, for example, when we make honeycomb cream crunch. I can source Wexford strawberries locally. So we try to do whatever we can locally, handcraft it. We have over 42 different flavors. But one of the bigger differences is nutrition. You'll see on my Facebook page for Fantastic Flavours that you get about 387 calories out of a 99. We're at 190, I think 5 or 197 for calories. So even amongst all desserts, we're healthy, but we're a lot healthier than a 99.
You're an additional scoop. If someone wanted the 99 experience, they could have 2 scoops.
And I encourage people to get 2 scoops and get them often. Yes.
Now, Miceal, you are the mastermind, should we say, of an initiative that's spanning the country almost, but bringing it back to Youghal. Tell me a bit about the All Ireland Ice Cream Festival.
Well, I have a passion for my craft. And there's very few of us, relatively, that do what we do. There's Thomas Baldwin up in Knockanore who makes gorgeous ice cream. There's a little place called, it's in Little Island, Happy Days, that makes ice cream. There's Morris Butler over in Dungarvan. There's a place, Clonakilty Ice Cream. Cork is kind of the epicenter of the artisan ice cream craft. And if you've been reading the papers lately, we're also the epicenter of the dairy industry in Ireland. And I was just meeting with Leah Narita, the MEP, who represents us in Europe, and she was talking about how Cork is known throughout Europe for dairy and agriculture. So I started to think, what can we do to help our little town, but bring a festival here that just isn't a weekend drinking festival. It's not just listening to a couple nice bands or buying some little toys for the kiddies, but really celebrating what's truly a Cork artisan product. So I came up with the All Ireland Ice Cream Festival. It'll bring people from all over Ireland, north and south. We've gotten support from the Northern Ireland Assembly at Stormont. The Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development has been very supportive, and that came through Sandra McClellan, our local TD. Aaron O'Sullivan and Mary Linehan Foley, our local councillors, actually got every single county councillor in County Cork to sign a letter of support for this.
Wow.
So, if Mary and Aaron can get that to happen for Cork, I think they're great magicians, and they get my support for that. My industry is behind it, and hopefully we'll be able to kick this off this year. There's a lot of logistics behind it, but we want to bring people to Youghal so they can see all the great things we can do. I want to showcase my industry. I want to talk about how agriculture is a basic part of our life here in Ireland. ice cream isn't just something you go get a scoop. It really starts at the farm. So I want people to come in contact with how this starts from cradle to grave and makes great ice cream. We want to celebrate it, and I want to help my industry.
And outside of, say, the ice cream industry, what has been the response in the other sectors, the other artisan sectors in Cork?
It's been very positive. The Chamber of Commerce, swung in support behind it. The All for All Committee, we're thinking about sharing it the same weekend as the Moby Dick Festival. They've said, absolutely, if we can co-promote this, great. And, I'm trying to be a bit cute here. One of the reasons I want to do an All Ireland Festival is because I believe in our country. I believe in all Ireland. All people are Irish, north of the border, south of the border, doesn't matter. But it ties us into the whole British Tourism Board. So by doing a cross-border activity, we end up in the British tourism sites for free. We get the word out about Youghal across Great Britain, Northern Ireland, and here in the Republic. And if we're going to talk about ice cream, and of course, me being a Yank, it's going to help us in America. Anything we can do to get the word out about Youghal, promote our industry, promote Irish agriculture and industry, I'm all for it.
And also, as you mentioned earlier on, there's a European dimension to that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the interesting things is Ireland is actually the third leading consumer of ice cream in the world.
Really?
We're second in the EU. The average Sean and Mary in Ireland, man, woman, and child, has over 7.5 liters of ice cream a year.
7.5 liters.
Of course, I'd like them to consume it at Fantastic Flavours Ice Cream Parlour at 74 North Main Street. But the truth is, I just want people to know that we make great stuff here. And we don't need to settle for that frozen stuff that's cold and wet. You can actually have great flavor at a great price, interesting textures, good ingredients, and it's all made right here in Ireland.
You mentioned, there's a lot of logistics to jump through, and you're hoping to get it this year. What kind of stage are you at in the process?
Well, we've gotten all the letters of support. We've talked to people in our industry who've expressed an interest in doing this. It's things like venues. To mount one of these festivals, whether it's the insurance, crowd control, getting a venue like the town hall, the beautiful atrium in the back. It'd be helpful if the county council made these resources available to us without a fee as part of their contribution to helping bring business to Youghal. I mean, let's face it, we've had a tough time lately between roadworks and E. coli and lack of jobs in industry. The council can make a great difference simply by not nickeling and diming us to death, as the Americans would say, and trying to get everything done. So now we're down to the nitty-gritty of getting the agreements for venues and insurance and everything else in place and making sure the industry is available on a weekend that would work.
Obviously, what we're referring to, it's always a big issue with these things, is money. Is there any particular funding available for it, or any?
Well, there's all kinds of funding available. The problem is it's highly competitive. I was sharing at a local tourism group meeting today at the Red Store. Yes, I'm plugging another business, the Red Store. The truth is, we were all sitting around talking about how we can help promote tourism in Youghal. It is about euros, but those euros aren't about people enriching themselves. It's about creating jobs. Let's face it, everybody we bring to Youghal means that someone has a job. Every time someone gets off a bus, every time a tourist trips through town and decides to have a meal or pick something up at the local shop like Read and Write, they have a great gift shop there. There's 100 things to do in Youghal. It creates jobs in the community, and therefore it raises the rising tide lifts all boats. The difficulty is that all of these funds are limited, and everybody's applying for them. Which is kind of, again, you said mastermind. I have a itty-bitty mind, so we're really in trouble here. But what I tried to do is create a festival that not only celebrates ice cream and tourism, but goes to the agricultural sector. Because let's face it, our dairy farmers are out there in terrible weather, in good weather, in tough times, producing great dairy, which is essential to my trade. There are people growing strawberries and raising bees for honey. There are people making artisan chocolates here in Cork, like O'Connell's in Cork. All of that happens here in Ireland, and bringing it all together gives us an opportunity to tap interest groups that would come to Youghal that normally wouldn't. And then also, hopefully, they bring some funding to the table.
And I guess, as you mentioned, because it's so competitive, an ice cream festival, the first of its kind, that gives you a unique hook that you won't get because there are so many festivals around Ireland at this stage now. I mean, it's a common event, shall we say, in towns and villages throughout the country, that you do need that certain distinctive brand to it, or flavour.
Sure, we aren't doing the same old. But let me say, I think if nobody has been to a food festival before and see, some of Ireland's best chefs, food critics judge food, and take part of it, it's going to be like the Euro competitions where we're not going to have a Dunstan competition, but the public will be able to vote on what they think the best ice cream is, which one has the best texture, which one has the best flavor, which one is the most interesting recipe. For example, I make an ice cream out of Guinness and Ferrero Rocher chocolate. Sounds like an interesting combination. Tastes gorgeous. There's an example where Diageo, or the Guinness company, is the alcohol industry is related in making an ice cream product. Now, all the alcohol evaporates during the pasteurization process. It's alcohol-free. No. The wee kids love it too. But I do plenty of sampling before I pour it into the mix. So don't worry, it's still good stuff. And the rum and raisin is lovely too. But there is an example where an industry people wouldn't think of being related to ice cream or agriculture absolutely is. So there's great opportunities here for chefs, for people to learn stuff. A lot of people make ice cream at home. A lot of people enjoy it. We want people to have fun, but to also know that this is a serious industry. If anybody thinks farming is easy and the millions of euros farmers have to deal with to be able to produce milk and dairy and all the environmental rules, it's the same in our kitchen. The number of rules are incredible. I just went to a 2-day course on food allergens, just to be able to produce a 1-page sheet warning people about allergens. This is a tough industry. It's not just opening the door and serving food. It's really highly technical and scientific these days. Oh yeah,
well yeah, it's a highly regulated sector, of course, because obviously you're dealing with food that one false step could have disastrous consequences, and you have to be on top of that.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize that when you produce food, it's not just a bit of turning on the machine and pouring a cup of coffee. You really do worry about the quality of your food, the experience your customer has. Is it the right music? Is it too loud? Is it too soft? Does it have a driving beat in the morning when someone wants to relax? Are my cushions the right shape? Are they the right comfort level? Do people have enough room to spread out and think and talk and have privacy, but at the same time have a good time? Is the decor good? And then you get down to, is this at the right temperature? Did I check the temperature 5 times today and record it in the book? The amount of paperwork that goes on every day to run a shop, it's extraordinary. So my hat's off to people. I mean, I'm next to some great people like Butcher Sean Toomey and Sam's, and there's the Coffee Pot, there's Sage, there's the Old Imperial. All of us go through this every day, cataloging deliveries, listing allergens, doing the science. It's a tough job.
If someone is listening to this now, be they a citizen or a business owner, and they wanted to get involved or find out more, how would they go about it, Micheal?
Well, first of all, you can send us your credit card number. Well, first of all, they can contact me at Fantastic Flavours at 74 North Main Street, fantasticflavors@gmail.com. You can go to our Facebook page or fantasticflavors.ie. I encourage everybody to get involved because this is about bringing everybody to Youghal. And this is the one thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up. I know I'm long-winded. When I'm organizing this festival, I say I'm a small player in this. I want, our traditional music industry here, our cultural activities here in Youghal, to take a leading charge in displaying what they have. I want our town crier and the historical society to introduce to everybody to what's going on. I want our local tour buses to take people to Middleton, to the Jameson facility, to take them to Barry's Court Castle and to the Cove experience. One of the great things about Youghal that we miss every day is that we are located close to the V, so you can get beautiful walking in the hills. You can go to Cove. You can go to – it's a great place to base yourself out of, even if there's only a day's worth of history to look at here in Youghal. Everything is within a stone's throw here. And I think people that come to Carlton Village or stay at the Old Imperial or the Walter Raleigh or the Quality know that it's just a great place to be because everything's around us.
Finally, Micheal, and just before I ask you, because I have to ask you, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. what is your most romantic ice cream at Fantastic Flavours?
You know, I've made 31 strawberry heart-shaped ice cream cakes.
Really?
They've got this lovely crust of shortbread, actual strawberries in with the ice cream, covered with a thin layer of chocolate that breaks as you dice into it. It's a lovely little gift. Unfortunately, it's too late to order them, but that one's always a lovely one.
Do you have any I'm sorry ice cream either, in case someone forgets Valentine's Day?
Well, let me just say that while it's too late to probably make a gift to make somebody else happy, when you're licking your wounds from having forgotten your girlfriend or boyfriend or the wife or husband, you can come in for a rum and raisin or a Guinness and Ferrero Rocher and drink your miseries away with ice cream.